For many, debt is a dreaded four-letter word. We're going to show you how to get back in the black.
I'm tired of living in red.
We've all seen the offers to bundle our communication services, but is it really cheaper to go with just one provider? We're helping you make the right call.
So you're saving another $100 on your cell phone bill.
Cell phones may be wireless, but some come with a lot of strings attached. So we're gonna show you how to get that cell phone bill way down.
That's amazing.
Plus, have you ever regretted signing up for something like a gym membership or buying products at a home party? We'll show you how to get your money back.
We've almost all done it, given in to impulse and signed a contract for something that seemed like a good idea at the time.
If you're suddenly inspired to go out and buy a membership, only to realize a week later that it's not for you, do you know what your rights are?
Before signing any contract, be sure that you read and understand the cancellation policy before signing your money away.
Sandra and Andrea are on a crusade to find out what rights we have as consumers, starting with something that many of us are determined to do these days: join a gym.
I would like to sign up for a gym membership.
Normally people pay about $104 just to walk in the door.
Okay.
Right now you don't have to. Right now you only have to pay $19.59.
Now what's your cancellation policy like?
Suddenly, that $19.59 a month becomes a 2-year commitment.
You're paying a membership fee over the course of 24 months.
Okay, so you're
You-
locked in?
Technically, yeah.
Right.
If you just pay this $305 up front, then you're just going month by month and you can cancel it whenever you want.
Well, that was interesting.
But not very clear. He definitely skated around all of the questions.
And I had to ask a few questions to really get that out of him until he finally said, yes, we have a cancellation policy, but I really want to be sure and very clear on this, so I think we should ask somebody who knows contracts really well.
I like it.
All right, let's do it.
We'll find out a little later in the show what happens when you decide to cancel a contract and how you can make sure you get your money back.
We often hear from consumers who say they bought something just because they felt obligated, and then that's where the cancellation rights come in.
Being in debt can be overwhelming, especially in tough financial times, and digging your way out of debt can feel like an impossible task. But with the right tools and support, you can get a step up on your finances. Tara's a single mom with 3 kids. Right now, she's working part-time, but she's hoping to get back to school to get a degree. She expects that this will cost her about $20,000. Problem is, she's already tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
I've contemplated going bankrupt and jumping ship on the whole thing.
Bad idea. Claiming personal bankruptcy remains on your credit report for years and can seriously affect your ability to borrow money in the future.
I've decided that it's time to buckle down, go the long haul, and do the long, hard time and pay it off.
Angela and Robin are here to help.
There she is. She has a bag in hand.
Busted.
Hi. What's that in your hand?
Nothing.
The first thing you have to think about when you're dealing with your debt is coming clean. That was the first step we had to take when we were in over $50,000 in debt. Do you know exactly how much you owe on each credit card and what your interest rate is?
On one, I owe $7,900, and that interest rate is around 19.5. On another, I owe $1,300.
And that's not all. She also has 2 lines of credit, plus some outstanding student loans for a total of $36,000. And given those high interest rates, it could take her most of her life to get back in the black. Debt payments, not including your housing, shouldn't total more than 20% of your gross monthly income. That includes your car loan and any new credit card charges.
Can I make more than the minimum payments? Absolutely not.
Which is why we're going to suggest going to see a credit counselor.
We're going to meet an expert from the Credit Counseling Society. She says you want to be careful to choose a non-profit credit counseling service with properly trained staff, free counseling, and low-cost services.
What makes someone an ideal candidate to come in for counseling?
What we might ask of people are you struggling to make your payments? That's the obvious one. Are you continuing to use credit on a day-to-day basis because you can't cover your living expenses, so you're finding that your debt keeps creeping up?
Other key signs include keeping information from your spouse or partner and getting calls from those to whom you owe money.
I don't have creditors calling, but sure as heck they will be if I don't do something.
What happens when someone like Tara comes to see you?
We'll take into account her income, her living expenses, the assets, so the things that she owns, and her debts. Typically, we run through, can the client increase their income to manage the debt on their own? Can they get part-time jobs? Can they take on students or renters? Can they ask for help from friends and family?
The credit counselor may recommend you contact your bank and negotiate a debt consolidation loan.
It may seem crazy to borrow more money when you're already knee-deep in debt, but taking out a debt consolidation loan to pay off your current creditors might make good financial sense.
When you get that debt consolidation loan from a financial institution, they'll pay off all of your current debts except for things like your mortgage. Then you'll make one monthly payment until the full amount, including your interest, is paid off.
This option is attractive if you have a lot of high-interest credit card debt, and you can get a loan that's at a lower rate than your card.
If you don't qualify for a debt consolidation loan because your credit rating is too low, your counselor may suggest you join a debt management program. As part of the program, they'll contact your creditors and, where possible, negotiate on your behalf.
Oftentimes the creditors will reduce the interest, if not waive the interest, and accept a lower payment.
Then you give your counseling service a set monthly payment and they pay your creditors. It will cost you about $20 each month, but you could be saving hundreds every month instead.
I'm leaning towards the debt management program. It will lower my payment, and in my case, it probably would be lower by about $300 or $400 a month.
Do you feel like you're armed with a plan now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm moving forward.
Joining a debt management program will usually show up on your credit report, so take that into consideration before deciding if it's right for you.
I feel a weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm looking forward to living on a proper budget and living in the black instead of in the red. I'm tired of living in the red. I really am.
For more information on credit counseling, check us out online. Still to come, can bundling your communications really save you bucks?
The last bill that you paid, $344.
Then, in our continuing cookie crusade, Andrea exercises her right to cancel her gym contract. And later, cell phone savings. How can you talk your way into a better deal? Plus, do you know the best time to purchase a new cell phone plan? We'll tell you right after the break. When's the best time to purchase a new cell phone plan? At the end of the month. Salespeople are usually willing to give discounts in order to make their sales quotas. Andrea has just joined a gym, but she's not entirely sure she wants to keep her membership. So she and Sandra are on a crusade to find out what you can do when you realize you've made a mistake and want out of a contract. They're meeting with this consumer protection expert to find out their rights.
We've heard a lot about the cooling off period. Can you explain exactly what that is?
A cooling off period is actually a 10-day right to cancel that's given to consumers when they enter into two different types of contracts. One is a continuing service. It could be weight loss lessons, it could be body sculpting, it could be personal training sessions. Those are all considered a continuing services contract.
Although this law is nationwide, some regions cover more services than others, but none cover contracts for things like cell phones or internet.
The legislation says you can cancel. You don't need a reason.
Do you need to show proof of your cancellation?
Melanie says it's important to prove that you canceled within the 10-day time frame, so you should send a fax confirmation or a registered letter. Andrea decides to cancel her membership face-to-face.
Buyer's remorse.
It was an impulse buy,
Well, if you wait till the new year, it's going to be more expensive.
but I just want to wait until after the holidays.
You're not paying until February, right?
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Despite the pressure, she successfully cancels her contract. So what is the other type of deal that this 10-day cooling off legislation applies to? We'll tell you a little later in the show. Taking a look at your TV cable bill lately? How about your internet costs? How much are you paying for your home phone? And what about all the family cell phones? Most communication providers are happy to bundle all your services with the promise of significantly lowering your overall bill. So should you plug into their plan or simply hang up?
We've thought about bundling, but really haven't done anything much more than putting a couple of cell phones onto the same bill.
This is one connected family. With 2 kids still at home and 2 away at university, just staying in touch for parents Lori and Phil takes time and money.
If we could bundle and maybe save $50 a month or something like that would be great.
Angela and Katie are here to help them do even better than that.
We have cable, internet, home phone, and 4 cell phones.
This family is a prime candidate for bundling. The more services you have, the more likely you are to save.
How much do you think you're paying for all of your services every month?
For phone and internet, I think that's about $100 a month.
And what about cable?
About $65 a month.
According to this bill, your last cable bill was $91.
Okay.
Yeah, so higher than you thought.
The cell phones.
In the $225 range, maybe?
The last bill that you paid, $344.
For 1 month?
1 month, 4 phones.
For their internet and home phone line, Lori and Phil pay $100 per month. For cable, close to $100, and for their 4 cell phones, $344, for a total of $535 a month.
The best thing to do is to get on the phone with a number of different service providers. You let them know what your family's looking for, and then they can tell you what options they have.
And especially when it comes to telephones, you're a big family, you have buying power.
So we'll get the whole family involved, each calling around to different service providers to try a little negotiating.
One is, how can I get my bill to be less? Do I have the right package?
Here are a few things to keep in mind when talking to your service provider. Different bundles have various features. Resist the urge to upgrade your services, or you'll quickly spend any money you might save by bundling. Make sure your new quotes include any setup or connection fees, and if you're given any special offers, be sure to ask what the services will cost once the promotion is over. Ask about any service limits on things like internet downloads. And since bundles that save you the most money usually have the longest contracts, inquire about cancellation fees. Finally, get your deal in writing and make note of your service representative's employee number.
What did you find?
In lots of cases, there's better services for less money.
So I looked up cable, home phone, and internet. And by bundling them, it can be half the price that it was before. So we were paying about $200, and now we could be down to about $99.
Just by making a phone call, you could potentially cut your bill in half.
Yes.
Cell phones were much the same, really. Sharing minutes was the big part of it. If any of us go over our minutes, we can throw it all into the bundle of minutes. So that made a significant savings. We got it down to potentially around $205 for all 4 bills together.
By bundling their internet, home phone line, and cable, they went from $200 per month down to $99. And by bundling their 4 cell phones, they went from $344 to $205 a month. They've gone from $535 to $304 a month. That's a savings of over $200.
That's over $2,000 a year.
There's very few ways to put $2,000 a year back into your jeans when you're doing this that easily.
If you're under contract with your existing service provider, weigh the costs of paying to get out of your contract against the money you could save by bundling. In this family's case, they will have to pay a total of $140 in cancellations, but that's well worth it for over $2,000 in savings.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of money.
Congratulations, we're impressed.
Thanks
What are you
for
going to do
helping
with
out.
that extra money every month?
Car?
I think the boys have some ideas.
Don't short-circuit your budget by assuming you're going to save by bundling your telecommunication services.
If all you currently have is basic cable, minimal internet, and you don't use long distance very much on your home line, you're not going to save that much money. What may work best for you is compare your current provider's individual services with a competitor's non-bundled prices to see where the savings are for the few services that you do use. Coming up in the conclusion of our Cookie Crusade, party purchases, what you should know about your refund rights.
Is it possible to get my money back?
And are you putting your money where your mouth is? We'll tell you how to cut your cell phone costs.
It'll probably save you quite a good chunk of money.
Plus, do you know what cell phone salespeople make the highest commission on? The answer when we come back. What do cell phone salespeople make the highest commission on? The accessories they sell you. So don't bow to pressure. Buy only what you need. Andrea took advantage of her 10-day cooling off period to cancel her gym membership. Now she and Sandra are continuing their crusade to find out what else that right to cancel legislation applies to. The short answer is anything you buy via what are called direct sales. So that includes purchases from parties such as clothing, jewelry, or candle parties that take place at someone's home.
You actually have 10 days to change your mind. We want consumers to feel in control in their house, and so it's really important that there is no sense of obligation to buy.
Sandra and Andrea put that to the test.
These are really nice.
They are nice, but you know what?
You're not sure about some of them?
Well, I just don't know if I actually need them. I didn't realize until we talked to Melanie, though, that I even had the option to try to return it. So I think it's worth the call. Is it possible to get my money back?
Well, you know, if you feel that strongly about it, would you consider maybe trading it for another item? Maybe you'd like to have another look at my stock. You might find something that you prefer over that one.
I don't think so.
No problem.
Okay.
I'll be happy to refund your cash.
The seller has 15 days to refund your money and is obligated to either pick up the goods or pay to have them sent back.
What are some tips or advice you can give consumers on how to say no?
Well, the first thing is to be firm. So remember, there is no obligation.
Melanie also says that if you have difficulties canceling a contract, you should call your local Better Business Bureau or consumer protection agency in your region. Just make sure you exercise your cooling off rights within your 10 days. Still to come, how to bring down your bill and make the most of your mobile.
You paid $109, you would have only paid $21.80.
That's amazing.
And do you know how much you can save on a new cell phone contract with your current provider? We'll tell you after the break. How much can you save on a new cell phone contract with your current provider? If you negotiate, experts say you can pay 30% less per month or receive extra services for the same price, and suggesting you might leave could get you even more. They may be wireless, but people are definitely attached to their cell phones, and they seem to be more focused on getting the latest color and ringtone than picking up the most cost-effective calling plan.
I think we should see if people actually know what they're paying for and if we can find them a way to save some money.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be as simple as paring down features you don't use.
Now, are you using any additional services like texting or voicemail?
No.
So that's a pretty basic usage. You're just talking.
Absolutely.
It could be a good idea to go onto a pay-as-you-go plan.
Pay-as-you-go plans allow you to pre-buy cell phone time. They're offered by lots of companies and provide inexpensive airtime minutes, but you'll have to use them by a certain date.
The best ones are often found in grocery stores, drugstores, and gas stations, and those can last as long as a year. When you're with a bigger cell phone company, they don't always let you keep your 25, 75 minutes for any more than 30 days. So, for this same amount of usage where you paid $109, with a pay-as-you-go phone, you would have only paid $21.80.
That's amazing.
Are you locked into a contract with your current provider?
I think I have close to 2 years.
So that's going to cost you quite a bit to get out of. What I think you need to do is get a pay-as-you-go plan with your provider as opposed to getting cards at the variety store.
Prepaid plans aren't for users who like a lot of features, so if that's you, take the time to customize your plan to meet your needs and save your money.
For example, do you do a lot of long-distance calling?
Ton.
What you'd want to do when you build your own plan is work with their representative and say, okay, yes, I do a lot of long-distance calling, so help me create that plan, and maybe I don't need as many daytime minutes, or whatever the case may be.
Once you choose a calling plan, keep a close eye on your bill to see if you're always going over or under your allotted minutes.
Under, because I won't talk on the phone, because I don't know how many minutes I have.
Are you texting often?
Yeah, I get texts, and then I see it on the bill, 15 cents, 15 cents. Don't like that.
What you might want to consider doing is opting for a plan that includes texting. You can get one for around $20, and then maybe that will save your airtime and you can text your friends back.
And remember, most companies will allow you to increase your minutes and services for free, but to reduce them, you may pay a penalty.
Do you know how many minutes that your plan covers every month, and you go over or you under?
I think I'm under. I have probably about 1,000 minutes.
One of the best options for you is to call your phone provider and ask them if they have the top 3 or top 5 friends that you can use. That way you're not using up all of your minutes, and you can actually decrease the amount of minutes per month. So instead of 1,000 minutes, you can go to like 350 or 500. it'll probably save you quite a good chunk of money. For a phone bill, I mean, up to about $25, $30.
I have 5 people that I can talk to and text unlimited.
Something that we've learned with long distance when you have a Fave 5 plan is you could actually program in a calling card number as one of your Fave 5 numbers and call any long distance number, and it only counts as one.
That's right. If you choose a calling card number as one of your free numbers, you'll have unlimited talk and text to all long distance locations accessed through that number.
Wow, that's really tricky. That's a really great idea.
Working the system.
And here are a few more quick tips for working the system. If the best deal you can find is with a different company, check for any penalties before you switch providers. And when you do go shopping, ask for total costs, because the rates quoted often don't include everything. Things like taxes, activation fees, or system access fees.
One thing that is really angering me is the system access fee.
And what is a system access fee?
It doesn't really provide any service for me nor for them. And it sounds really like it's just a way to get more money from people.
There are companies out there that now offer competitively priced plans and no system access fees. So do your homework and you can cut your costs.
Oh, cell phones. I was surprised that a lot of people didn't know what their minutes were every month and they never really truly looked at their phone bill in detail.
I had quite a few people who were going over their allotted minutes, and that is where it's costing you a lot of money. So it might be worth it to pay a little bit more every month to get more minutes.
And how about system access fees?
I'm gonna go and try and get out of mine because it's about $7 or $8 a month.
And then call us and let us know how you do.
Yes.
All right. Text us, that will be cheaper. All right, I gotta go do it.
For more